The people of the dark Minoan Empire worshipped the bull. He was the most powerful of all gods. Over time, they grew tired of bowing only to stone statues. They demanded a living god in the flesh. The queen had to lie with the bull and bear his child. When the child was ready to be born, it was cut from her womb. The glory of the empire rose with the appearance of the living god, the Minotaur. But soon the heir to the throne was killed. As punishment for killing a royal, the northern village of Thena was cursed with a cruel tribute. Every 3 years, 8 young people from Thena were taken to be sacrificed to the Minotaur. They were thrown into the underground labyrinth where the beast lived, and it devoured their flesh. Theo was a shepherd in the village of Thena. He was the son of the chieftain, Cyrnon. One day, while tending sheep with Danu, they saw a leper woman. Danu thought it was a bad omen. He feared soldiers would soon come to take young people for the Minotaur. But Cyrnon did not believe in such nonsense. Even if soldiers came, Theo would be safe. The son of the chieftain could be taken to the castle, but that did not make Theo feel better. The last time soldiers came, they took his beloved Fiona. Since then, Theo could not find peace. He thought about her constantly and could not believe she was gone. His father tried to distract him from mourning his love. He even sent a girl named Didi to him. "Your father told me to come," she said. But Theo rejected her. The rest of the villagers disliked the chieftain and his son. They were safe while other families suffered from the sacrifices. Theo was especially hated by a young man named Tyro. He too loved Fiona, but she was taken. Tyro believed she would not have been sent to the Minotaur if she had been with him. One day, wolves attacked the sheep Theo was guarding. They killed one sheep, and the chieftain's son chased the predator. It led him to the cave where the leper woman lived. She invited Theo inside and told him Fiona was still alive. To save her, the shepherd must enter the Minotaur's labyrinth and kill the monster. Sometime after meeting the leper, Theo and Danu crossed paths with Tyro and his friend on a mountain trail. They were looking for a fight and began to beat the shepherds. But then they saw ships at sea. That meant the rulers had sent soldiers to take the youths for the Minotaur. If not for that, Tyro would have beaten Theo badly. Hearing about the uninvited guests, the villagers hid their daughters and sons so they would not be taken by the monster. But the soldiers found everyone they wanted. Only one family willingly gave their daughter as a sacrifice. They believed the Minotaur was a god in the flesh, and to become his food was the highest honor. Among the future victims were Tyra, Didi, Danu, and his girlfriend Morna. Theo saw it all and could not stay aside. Fiona was calling him. So he distracted the rear soldier and swapped places with one of the condemned. When they were loaded onto the ship, his friends saw Theo under the hood. He told them he was going to the labyrinth to kill the Minotaur. When Cyrnon heard his son had gone, he was blinded by rage, but he held it back and hoped Theo would return alive. When the victims were brought to the palace, they were met by brother and sister, Deucalion and Raphaela. Deucalion ordered 2 girls brought to him. They were drugged with gas rising from underground and forced to kiss each other. Raphaela joined them. Theo tried to defend the girls, but no one listened. Deucalion called for the Minotaur to taste the blood of its victims. But the beast did not come right away. When it appeared, Raphaela interfered. The sacrifice failed and they were all sent to the dungeon. There the prisoners were well fed. Meanwhile, Raphaela sent her maid for Theo. When he was brought, the princess drugged him with gas and tried to seduce him. Deucalion watched them. Raphaela wanted Theo to free her from the Minotaur. The leper had told her he would come and kill the monster. Hearing their blasphemy, Deucalion burst into the chamber. The princess ordered the guards to seize Theo. He was sent into the Minotaur's labyrinth. His friends followed soon after. The first victim was the devout girl. She was glad to be there, but she did not expect the monster to pierce her with its horn and eat her. While the Minotaur was feeding, Deucalion offered his sister to lie with him. Raphaela pretended to agree. When they went to his chambers, she escaped and jumped into the labyrinth. At that moment, Theo found a cave vent releasing gas. It was used in the palace to light the room. The gas was highly flammable. Theo found some of his tribesmen, and soon Tyra and his friend joined them. They heard a noise nearby and thought the Minotaur was coming. Tyra suggested setting a trap. Theo would be the bait. They covered him with a wolf's hide and left him on the floor to wait for the monster. Meanwhile, Deucalion prayed to his bull god to return his sister. He would give anything for her safety. The trap worked, but instead of the Minotaur, Raphaela appeared. In the labyrinth, she searched for the shepherd. The princess wanted to lead him out. Near the monster's lair, there was a door. On the other side, her maid would be waiting to open it when Raphaela brought Theo and the others. But not everyone trusted Raphaela. Vina thought the princess was lying and luring them into a trap. She tried to leave, but the Minotaur crept up behind her and pierced her with its horn. The others ran, leaving their friend to the beast. When Raphaela's maid came to the door, Deucalion followed her. He forbade her to open the way to the labyrinth. On the other side were Theo and the others. The Minotaur also arrived. The friends had to split up. Theo, Morna, and Danu met a survivor in the labyrinth. He had gone mad from years underground. He ate rats and lived like a savage, but he knew the tunnels well and had a map. Diddy and Tyra were together. Diddy confessed she always liked Tyra, but he loved Fiona and ignored other girls. She promised to marry him if they got out alive. Theo and Danu argued about Fiona. Theo believed she was alive. Danu thought she was dead. Theo told him about the leper and her promise that he could save his love if he killed the Minotaur. Realizing Theo was there for Fiona and not for the others, Danu grew angry. Their fight was cut short by the monster's arrival. Theo forced the madman to point to Fiona's location on the map. The Minotaur left after hearing Deucalion's voice calling for his sister. Deucalion returned to the palace, leaving one guard for the beast to kill. The madman had a pendant that once belonged to Fiona. Theo had the other half. He took it and left the cave. Diddy and Tyra found the well where victims were thrown. They began to climb up. Tyra reached the grate, but the Minotaur appeared. Diddy grabbed Tyra's hand, but he could not hold her. She became the monster's next victim. Theo searched the labyrinth for Fiona. She called to him and they met. He could not believe she stood before him. Moments later, he realized his mind was clouded. He was holding Fiona's corpse. Knowing Danu had been right, Theo ran to find him. But Danu met the Minotaur and was eaten. Theo threw his pendant at the wall, sparking a flame. The gas ignited and then went out. He knew this was the way to kill the Minotaur. Burn it with gas. Raphaela found Theo and told him why Thena's people were sacrificed. When born, the Minotaur killed the heir. The rulers blamed a man from Thena and locked the beast in the labyrinth. Feeding it victims, Raphaela asked the leper to find someone who could kill the beast. The old woman chose Theo and led him to the lair. The Minotaur attacked, but Tyra jumped on it. The beast killed him, but Theo and Raphaela escaped. Theo found a water hollow and left Raphaela there. He lured the beast and dodged, making it break the wall. Gas escaped, but Theo lost his pendant. It was on the Minotaur's horn. Theo charged like a madman and took it back. He lit the gas and ran to Raphaela. They hid underwater as the explosion tore the palace apart. The labyrinth collapsed, but the Minotaur survived. Theo used the broken horn as a weapon. The beast impaled itself and died. Theo, Raphaela, Morna, and the survivor made it to the palace. They found a wounded Deucalion. Raphaela strangled him and told everyone to remove their bull masks. It was the start of a new era, the fall of the Empire. Theo, the Minotaur slayer, became a living legend.